Tindy's triumph. Once there was a young Mongolian woman named Tindy, known for her audacious spirit. She faced a conundrum when her village was threatened by a severe drought. Tindy knew she had to prevail over this challenge to save her community. She derived a plan to build an innovative irrigation system. Her idea was to use traditional methods, but with a smaller environmental footprint. Despite doubts from others, she worked tirelessly. In the end, her efforts brought water back to the village, proving that courage and innovation can overcome great challenges. Batbayır's stand. In Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, lived Batbayır, a young man known for his meticulous nature. One day, he discovered an illicit activity happening in his neighborhood. Batbayır was normally reactive, but this situation required careful thinking. He decided to use his influence as a respected community member. Batbayır organized a meeting to confront the issue head-on. His approach led to a remarkable change in the community. People admired his courage, and the neighborhood became a safer place for everyone. Dorj's race to triumph. In the heart of Mongolia, there was a young man named Dorj who loved to race horses. One day, while training on the vast stretch of the steppes, he noticed ominous clouds gathering. This made him ponder the upcoming big race, where he hoped to outperform his rivals. As he rode back home, he remembered his father's definitive advice about perseverance. The race day arrived with a poignant mix of excitement and tension. Dorj, remembering his father's words, raced with all his might. In the end, his determination and skill led him to a glorious victory, proving that resilience and hard work can overcome any challenge. Jargal's World of Learning. In Mongolia's northern hemisphere lived a resolute young teacher named Jargal. She had a robust passion for languages and a wide repertoire of teaching methods. Jargal believed in moving beyond traditional rhetoric in education. She built a strong rapport with her students, encouraging them to explore new ideas. One day, she challenged them to learn about cultures from the other hemisphere, broadening their perspectives. Her students were initially hesitant, but her enthusiasm was infectious. Thanks to Jargal's dedication, her students became more knowledgeable and open-minded, reflecting the power of a passionate teacher. Tirin's tranquil discovery. In the heart of Mongolia, a young man named Tirin practiced meditation daily. He sought a sublime sense of peace in the bustling city life. One day, during his meditation, Tirin made a discovery. He realized that being on the same wavelength with nature was invaluable for inner harmony. Inspired, he began to prescribe this approach to his stressed friends. They were skeptical at first, but decided to give it a try. To their surprise, they found a profound sense of calm and clarity, just like Tirin. Anar's artisan dream. In Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, a young entrepreneur named Anar owned a small trendy boutique. Her shop was known for its unique handcrafted items. Anar had a hypothesis. If she supported local artisans, their creativity would multiply. However, her idea was seen as disruptive by traditional retailers. Despite this, she remained altruistic, wanting to help her community thrive. Her support led to a flourishing network of local artists, Anar's boutique became a symbol of success, showing how innovative ideas can lead to positive change. Zala's educational revolution. In a small Mongolian town, there was a young teacher named Zala. He had a unique concept for teaching history, which was different from the traditional methods. Zala assumed that by making lessons interactive, students would learn more effectively. At first, his approach was seen as an anomaly in the school. The educational authority initially wanted to restrict his methods, insisting on consistency with the usual curriculum. However, Zala demonstrated that his teaching style consisted of effective strategies that engaged students better. Eventually, he earned respect and freedom to teach in his innovative way, changing how history was taught in his town. Sarna's balance. In Mongolia, a young data analyst named Sarna worked tirelessly on complex projects. Her job was to estimate market trends, a task that often felt overwhelming. One day, while trying to decipher a particularly challenging data set, she had an epiphany. Sarna realized that her constant overworking was debilitating her creativity. It became evident that rest was a crucial factor in her performance. She started balancing work with relaxation, which remarkably improved her analytical skills. This change not only enhanced her work quality but also her overall well-being. Tolga's vision. In a small Mongolian town, there lived a young teacher named Tolga. Tolga was very concerned about the local school's function, which was to provide quality education to all children. He identified that the main issue was the lack of resources due to the town's limited income. To solve this problem, Tolga decided to get involved in the community and propose new ways to legislate for education funding. He worked day and night talking to parents, other teachers, and local leaders, explaining how a small increase in community contributions could significantly improve the school's situation. His efforts paid off when the community agreed to his plan, showing that when people come together, they can make a big difference in their town's future. Tolga's story inspired many, proving that with determination and a clear goal, anyone can contribute positively to their community. Zaya's Light. In the heart of Mongolia, a young entrepreneur named Zaya decided to commission a project that would bring renewable energy to her region. She knew this task would require careful planning and the ability to administer the project effectively. The idea occurred to her after noticing the vast untapped potential of solar energy in her sector of the country. Understanding that the period for implementing such a project could be extensive, Zaya prepared to face any challenges head-on. She reached out to experts and local communities, explaining how this initiative could benefit everyone involved. Despite the obstacles, Zaya's determination and hard work paid off, making her project a success and inspiring others in her community to think about how they could contribute to sustainable development. Her story shows that with vision and perseverance, significant changes can be made one step at a time. Inchbolt's innovation. In the bustling city of Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, a young software developer named Inchbolt was passionate about creating a mobile app that could change the way locals secure their homes. He invested countless hours into developing a feature that would allow users to monitor their home security systems from anywhere. Inchbold knew that safety was an aspect of life that couldn't be equated with anything else. Determined to commit to his vision, he worked hard to ensure his app was user-friendly and effective. After months of dedication, Inchbold finally launched his app. It quickly became popular among the community, praised for its innovative approach to security. Iqbal's success story inspired many young Mongolians, showing them that with the right investment and commitment, they could turn their ideas into reality. Green Step. In Ulaanbaatar, a group of young adults formed an entity called Green Step to promote environmental awareness. They were known for their liberal ideas and active community involvement. Their first project was to conduct a cleanup drive in the city. During one of their meetings, there was a lively debate about how to enforce recycling laws more effectively. Some members argued for strict penalties, while others suggested educational campaigns. In the subsequent weeks, they worked on a proposal to present to the local government. Their efforts paid off when the authorities agreed to consider their suggestions. The members of Green Step realized that through respectful debate and constructive conduct, they could make a real difference in their community. Building dreams. Bata wanted to construct a model bridge for his school project. First, he needed to consult his teacher about the structure. She showed him a section in a book to exemplify good design. Bata worked hard and finally achieved his goal. The bridge was a great example of his effort. The community garden. Every year, the small town held its annual festival to celebrate community spirit. This year, they decided to adapt the festival to include a community garden project. The idea was proposed by the local environmental institute, highlighting the impact of green spaces on urban areas. Many volunteers excited to contribute gave credit to the institute for inspiring them. They worked together to turn a vacant lot into a blooming garden. It became a place where people of all ages could learn, relax, and enjoy nature. The library project. In a small village, there was a limited access to books. Marla, a young teacher, believed that reading was fundamental for education. She decided to undertake a project to build a library. Marla met with the village leaders to facilitate the planning. They agreed it was a prime opportunity to improve the village's knowledge. Everyone was excited about the new learning regime. With the help of volunteers, the library was built. It became a beloved place where everyone could explore new worlds through books. The Lighthouse of Seaview. In Seaview, a small seaside village, stood an old, abandoned lighthouse. Some people thought it was an illusion because it looked so mysterious. Some people who wanted to make money had a big idea. They wanted to do an extensive job to change the lighthouse into a hotel. This change would be permanent. They thought it would be good for the village. Sarah, a nature lover, wanted to convince the village to keep the lighthouse as it was. After much discussion, the villagers agreed to eliminate the hotel plan. The lighthouse remained cherished more than ever in its original rustic state. The space project at the library. In a small town, there was a library, a wonderful resource for the community. Titske, the librarian, worked hard to maintain its neatness. One day, a boy named Bata needed assistance with a school project about space. Titske guided him to the appropriate books, showing the library's capacity to help with knowledge. She encouraged Bata to evaluate the books to find the best one for his project. With Titske's help, Bata quickly found what he needed, thankful for the library's resources. The Lost Cat's Adventure. Alga, a domestic cat, decided to seek adventure outside his home. Following a butterfly, he soon found himself in unfamiliar surroundings. filled with external sights and sounds. Lost, he tried to respond to the new environment but felt scared. Back home, his family noticed Alga was missing. They went outside to seek him, calling his name. Hearing their voices, Alga meowed loudly to respond. After some searching, they found Alga and were overjoyed to recover him. Alga, relieved, learned to adjust to his safe domestic life again, realizing that home was the best place for him. The Cozy Corner. In a quiet town, there was a small library that faced a conflict. The mayor wanted to alter the library into a modern cafe. Many people, aware of the library's importance, started to protest. Lily, a regular visitor, suggested they amend the plan to include a small cafe inside the library. The idea would not decline the library's charm but compound its appeal. The mayor agreed, seeing it as a perfect solution. The library was altered to include a cozy cafe corner. This change resolved the conflict, keeping the library's spirit alive and adding a new place for people to enjoy. Bata's journey to confidence. Bata was a smart man in his late 20s, living in the heart of Ulaanbaatar. His cognitive skills were top-notch, making him a star at his IT job. But Bata had a secret. He suffered from nervousness whenever he had to speak in front of his colleagues. His boss noticed this and decided to implement a plan to help Bata and others like him. They started a workshop where everyone could practice public speaking. In this workshop, Bata had to reference many articles to talk about the problems of excessive screen time. Slowly, he began to dominate his fear, speaking more confidently each time. After several weeks, Bata felt much better. He was no longer just the tech-savvy guy, but also the one who could share his knowledge with confidence. Sarol's Melody. In a small Mongolian town, there was a young artist named Sarol who loved to compose music. He believed that good music was like a receptor, capturing the emotions of the heart. Sarol's band comprised 6 talented friends, each possessing unique skills. They often associated music with the beauty of the Mongolian landscape. One day, they were invited to perform at a big festival. However, just before the event, there was a breach in their plans. Their lead guitarist fell ill. Despite this setback, Sarol and his band composed a new piece that celebrated resilience and friendship. Their performance was a success, showing that creativity can overcome any challenge. Toya's leadership in the valley. In a small fertile valley in Mongolia, a young farmer named Toya was appointed leader of the local farmers' council. She was known for her stability and calm nature, even when others would contend with difficulties. Toya's main goal was to improve the community's farming techniques to endure the harsh winters. One day, during a meeting, a fellow farmer had an outburst, frustrated by the recent drought. Toya listened patiently, understanding his worries. She then spoke about the importance of working together and using the fertile land wisely. Her words brought peace and a renewed sense of hope. Under Toya's leadership, the farmers learned to contend with their challenges, ensuring their lands remained fertile and productive. They realized that with stability in their approach and endurance in their efforts, they could overcome any obstacle. Harvest of Hope. In a small village in Mongolia, a young farmer named Atombayr was worried about the increasing emission from nearby factories. He noticed that the pollution affected his crops. Autumnbiter's friend Sarangiril, an environmental scientist, explained that the emissions were changing the climate at their altitude. She encouraged him to try new farming techniques. Together, they experimented with the formation of different crop patterns to adapt to changes. That year, the harvest was successful despite the challenges. Autumnbiter felt proud to inherit his family's land and now had hope for its future. He realized that with knowledge and adaptability, he could overcome many obstacles. The heritage phenomenon. Once upon a time, in a small Mongolian town, a group of young colleagues worked together at a local company. They often discussed a strange phenomenon that occurred in their town every year. One day, they decided to investigate it. As they explored, they noticed people using different expressions to describe their feelings about this mystery. Among them, an old man spoke with bitterness about the past, reminiscing about a time before the phenomenon started. The young colleagues listened intently, learning about the history and culture of their town. Eventually, they reached a settlement in their understanding, realizing the phenomenon was a unique part of their heritage. From that day on, they appreciated the stories and experiences of their elders, bringing a new sense of unity to their community. The urban-nature fusion of Timurlung. In a bustling Mongolian city, a young artist named Timurlung was fascinated by sculpture. He loved how each sculpture had unique properties that made it special. One day, he decided to create a sculpture that represented the proportion of nature and urban life in his city. He used metal and wood, showing the balance between the natural and the commercial world. Timurlen's work caught the attention of a local art gallery. They noted that a large percentage of visitors were drawn to his sculpture. This success was relatively unexpected for Temujin, but it inspired him to create more art that reflected the world around him. His sculptures became a bridge between traditional Mongolian culture and modern life. Fusion of traditions. In a small Mongolian city, a group of young adults, all friends, decided to start a business. Their main approach was to innovate traditional Mongolian crafts and make them appealing to a wider mainstream audience. They were aware of the widespread interest in unique cultural products around the world. One friend, Anar, who was well known for her artistic skills, suggested integrating modern designs with traditional patterns. However, they faced a condition. They had limited funds to start their project. Despite this, their innovation caught the attention of a local business competition. Their idea stood out because it respected Mongolian traditions while appealing to mainstream tastes. Winning the competition gave them the boost they needed, making their dream a reality. Green dreams in the city. In the early years of the new millennium, a young Mongolian environmentalist, Inch, decided to attend an international conference on climate change. During the conference, he learned about the importance of vegetation in fighting global warming. Inch was surprised to find there was opposition to the idea of expanding green spaces in urban areas. Some argued that it was misleading to think trees in cities could significantly impact the climate. However, Inch believed in the power of every small attempt to make a difference. He returned home inspired to start a city gardening project. Despite the opposition, Inch and his friends planted trees and created small parks. Their efforts showed that even in a small way, they could contribute to a healthier planet. Unity in color. In a bustling Mongolian city, a young artist named Eruna wanted to impress the world. She was known for her striking cheekbones and creative spirit. Aruna believed that every particle of paint and every component of her art told a story. She often thought about how people are like art pieces, made of different parts but beautiful together. However, she saw it was inevitable that society tried to segregate people, like separating colors on a palette. Determined to change this, Haruna created a masterpiece that blended all colors seamlessly. Her work showed that when combined, every particle and component could create something stunning, just like a unified community.